Hello, this is Mr. Quack Quack, and today I'm continuing doing the Redstone concepts. So today I'm going to be talking about the repeater and comparator. Okay, so let's start with the comparator. So there it is, and so I'll just connect up some lines. There we go. There's something here. So I can flick that lever. So let's place one right here now. Okay, so when I put this one right here. So right here is 15, 14, 13, 12 in signal strength, that is. And then when it comes to a repeater, it resets. But that does come at a cost. There is always a slight delay. Right here, so it's a 1 tick delay. Now we're switching it to 2. A bit more noticeable. 3. 4. That's the maximum of each one is 4. But if you want more, then you just need to add another repeater. Which is pretty simple. Okay, so next thing you can do with a repeater is lock it with either a repeater or a comparator, and you can do it from either side. I'm just going to be doing it with a repeater. So, do this, turn that, now it's locked, and this is stuck on now when it's locked. But, do this, now I lock it again, now it's stuck off, so when you lock it, it's stuck in whatever state it was when it was locked. So if it was locked when it's off, then it's going to be off until it's unlocked, and if it's locked when it's on, then it's going to be on until it's unlocked. And that's how it works. Which this can be used for like logic circuits if necessary. There's a lot that you could do with it. Like, if you want this one signal strength, if you don't want to build like one of those giant little decoder things for it, you could use that, so you have just the amount you need. And then after that would lock the repeater, which does make that pretty simple. And so also it will attach to redstone no matter what. So this is a very simple block, and it's very easy to understand. But this locking right here will not work like this. It needs to be coming from something that will power it. So this will need to be hard powered to be locked. Which a repeater can do that, and a comparator can do that. Which if you do not know what hard powered is, you can always go back to the last episode of Redstone Concepts, which I'll have linked in the description. Now, on to the comparator. So, let's start with the basics. So, one of the main things it can do is read from things like hoppers, dispensers, chests, anything that can hold items, except entities. So, not taking anything. And it reads the amount in there. So, if this thing was completely full, this piece of redstone would be giving a 15 signal strength. But it only has 8 in there. If there's any item in there, it will for sure be giving at least 1. And then, so with the entities rule, there is one exception to it. The exception is the minecart with chest and hoppers. With chest and hoppers, those ones. But you cannot just read it on any old rail. It has to be a detector rail. If it is not a detector rail, it will not be able to read, so there we go, it's able to read it. But let's say I just grab one of these also. Place this down, put it on here, shove it off, break it. And now if I place the comparator. And I put this right here. It will not read anything because it is not on a detector rail. That's the only way it can. Okay. And also, so now it has an output like the repeater right here. So you see this right here. So right here, this is a. So right here it's 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. 10 right here. And then a 10 right here also. So this just, so whatever here goes into a comparator, it will repeat that here. Unless something from the side inputs. So it will not reset to 15. But let's say you wanted to carry like a certain signal strength all the way it's able to change depending, then you could do something like this with redstone in between, and it would, so just say I want to go right here, let's just kind of boost it up. So I saved this screenshot by accident. Okay, so this one right here is power 14, so power 14, 14, 14, and 14. Very simple. But from the continuing on with the comparator, there's more to it than just that, and it gets fairly complicated. So let's continue on to that. So let's head over to the area. Okay, for this next piece to make sense, I'm gonna have to tell you some kind of definitions here. Well, what I would call it. So right here is input 1, so the one that goes in right here. Okay, input 2 goes in from the side, so either here or here. And then output goes out from the front. Okay, so with this little thing right here in the front, this little nub, without it being on, so this is on, it's off there. With it being off, it is in mode 1, which is comparing. So what this means is, right here, so if input 1 is greater than or equal to input 2, you will get a signal. So let's just do that. So let's go input 1, let's put it as 14. Let's go on 14 and 14. There we go, because it's equal to input 2, it's giving an output. Now let's say I switch to 15, it turns it off. Very simple. But now let's see, so let's just keep this here, but let's say I move it farther down, it does nothing, because it's now greater than, which still means there's an output. But with it, it does not reset to 15 still, so if this one right here is 14, this one will be 14. And still would be 14. It's not going to, so in comparing mode, it's either going to be half. So if the input's 14, it's either going to be 14 or 0 with the output. Which is fairly simple. So that can also be used in logic and so on. Okay. So now for mode 2, which will be this right here. So subtracting mode. Now let's make this into a subtraction symbol right here. So now, so let's say right here, so input 1 minus input 2. So this will make it pretty simple here. So right here you see 14. Which one to look here? 14 minus 11. So 14 minus 11 equals 3. So then we get a power output of 3. Fairly simple there. So you're able to do that with anyone. So let's say, let's go. Let's turn off this one. Go over here. There we go. So input of 1. Let's go, where am I? So we have an output of 1, but now let's see. I go out here. We're going to have an input of 0 because... Why is that 2? That did not go all the way. Okay, whatever. Let's just extend this one more. Okay, so input of 1. So 1 minus 1 equals 0. So now I have 0. But it will not go into the negative, so it cannot go into negative because that's not how redstone works. You either have, so highest you can go is 15, lowest you can go is 0. So like I could have this right here at 0, and this at 15, and you get nothing because there's no inputs. Which is, I think it's kind of simple, but others might not think it's simple. So there is a way that you can actually use a pretty simple circuit using subtracting mode. So, just place repeater, comparator, go around, like this, and it makes a clock, because, so you just kind of keep going around, so it takes this, that minus that, what comes in, and it just continues that until there's 0, but because there's an input, and that would be 0, it resets it, and it just continues doing it. Which is a very simple one-tick clock there. Which, if you understand why it works, like it's very, if you understand how the subtraction works, then then you understand why that clock works. Which there is definitely other ways you could do something with it. So, let's say you want something, like something needs to be, so hopper needs to be this filled. So you could do something. So, this out, and then take another one in here. You could do it in comparing also. And you would have whatever. So let's say this needs to be completely full before this will be turned on. Then this would right here would work. Though generally you wouldn't do that. You'd probably have it like this where it needs to be very close to full. Okay, so this is all the information I can give to you for today. So this was actually fun and one to record because, well, it's actually the first video that I was able to do something related with math in it, which I like that. And also, this is actually the second time recording, which the first one was definitely way different, just because I don't do any scripts. It's basically on the fly with everything there. Though if it does feel like do re-record, like what I'm doing here. So, until next time, goodbye!